The Lancashire, Derbyshire and East Coast Railway's Langwith to Bayton branch opened in 1898, passing through various rural stations and villages. It closed to regular passenger traffic in 1939. It is now completely abandoned, and much of it is parts of farmland and also footpaths. Today I'm going to walk a section from Langwith Junction, which was formerly Shirebrook North Station, right through to Clowne and former Clowne South Railway Station. I can show you on Rail Map Online whereabouts we are. So the yellow line is the Midland Railway, that is still active today, and we're going to begin down here at Langwith, where the former Shirebrook Station was, and Langwith Junction, following it up along the way towards Creswell and on towards Clowne. And a closer view of where Shirebrook North Station was. This is where we're going to begin today, and in a moment we are going to jump down to the point where some of the station buildings still survive. Now on the 8th of March 1897 the station opened as Langwith Junction, but it was the 2nd of June 1924 it was renamed to Shirebrook North. It closed to regular passenger traffic in September 1955. There were a few summer excursions, and the last one being in September 1964, and by December 64 the station had gone completely, and there were actually 4 platforms at this station. Now straight away, look, there is the old railway building just there. This is Primrose Way and Station Top Road. We've just come off that, and that is gonna be the old station building, isn't it? That's beautiful. Fantastic. So coming off the road, we do pick up our railway track bed somewhere just down here. And we're going to head off towards Clowne and pass Langwith as well. And we leave Langwith Junction behind and head on towards where the former colliery was, about half a mile further down. And then we've got the old station just beyond that. There used to be a viaduct, and then onto Clowne. So the track bed has dropped down somewhat, and we're in a cutting. Look, you see the stone, it's been carved out. On the opposite side, more of the same, but completely overgrown. This cutting behind me is so deep, and it's so lush and beautiful. I don't mind that it's raining, because it's added to more of that glistening and nature kind of feel to it. It's like another world. It's really nice. A little bit further down there we've got Langwith Colliery, and that was first operated from 1876 and lasted till 1978, so over 100 years of use. And the Midland Railway's Langwith Station was just on the opposite side, and we're curving round to that and should be with you very shortly. This is nice, isn't it? That is very high up, isn't it? I believe it was Occupation Bridge farm access. I can hear a school nearby. I think it's playtime. You can hear maybe over my voice all the children playing outside. Let's get underneath. So is it blue brick? I think it's actually a mix of both. Blue on the edges and red. Red on the intersection, and then typical stone. That's very high up, isn't it? So that is very high up, isn't it? Wasn't expecting that so soon. That's the joy of coming along routes I've never done before, is not knowing what to expect. I kind of thought it might just be a path, an old railway track turned into a path with nothing. Just feels either side, but we've had that beautiful cutting so far, and that really nice bridge just there. So the Midland Railway is pretty much where you can see that line of bushes just there. That's the active line. Nottingham, Mansfield and works up that way. Langwith Station, Langwith Colliery just over there. This is what was an old farm crossing, look. Now it's not the original gate post, but it gives you an idea of where they were. 4 of them. Old sleepers or the original gate posts? I'm going to go with the original stone gate posts down there, look. There's two of them. Maybe they're on the other side as well, but it is somewhat overgrown. So yes, there was 3 stations at Langwith. We've got Langwith right at the bottom. In the centre was Langwith Colliery, and at the top is Langwith Whaley Fawns, and that is the one that is open for passengers today. Now, this fine image was taken from the bridge that we've just gone under in the previous clip. It's got a passenger working with a diesel locomotive heading towards Langwith Junction, or the former Shirebrook North Station. You can see the housing estate in the back right corner. That is where we'll be hitting very shortly, and also you can see the mounds and the piles from Langwith Colliery. A little bit further down we've got, sadly, a track removal train heading in the same direction. The colliery would be in the distance behind, and the bridge again would be a short distance in front of the locomotive. So the cutting is long gone. We levelled off when I showed you where the railway line was in Langwith. We're coming up to the A632. Quite a high embankment and a bridge going over, not the original bridge. A632 pops into Langwith just there and heads off towards Bolsover, or Bolsa, or Boza. Plenty of pronunciations there. Quite a high bridge, this one. Let me pop you over. That's a long way down, isn't it? And going the other way, see if I can get you through one of these holes. There we go. That's very, very high up, isn't it? No way down, I don't think, either. It says this bridge was put up in 2014 on there, so it's been up 10 years. Langwith Colliery was just over there on the right hand side. As I said previously, lasted until 1978, and it's pretty much just beyond that where our Great Central line we're on today diverts and deviates away from the Midland Railway we've been running next to. Also, to point out where Langwith Colliery was, there was 3 stations in this village. So we've got Langwith that I mentioned previously just there, but Langwith Colliery also had its own station just there in the centre. A little bit further up there was Langwith Whaley Fawns. So there's 3 different stations in around about a half-mile stretch on the very same Midland Railway line. Now it looks like we're losing the track bed just here. We're dipping down onto a road, and to be honest, that didn't look wide enough on top for it to be a continuation of the track bed. I think it's been dug out. I think it was wider and it's been landscaped down for this path down to the road. Now I'm approaching the bottom of this road, where this is what. Now I'm approaching the bottom. This is Whaley Road. We've got to go into Poulter Country Park. So over the road we can see, look, where there used to be a bridge here. Look, oh, there's an abutment. Look at the size of that wall. Isn't that rather large? It's like it's gone on the opposite side. You can see how high that was, can't you? So quite an astonishing bridge remains there, isn't it? That must have been really high up, a bit like the A632. Now then, it does appear to be a path here, but I'm not convinced that's going to follow the track bed. I'm going to go through this car park and follow this other path up just up top. So the track bed's going to be this line of trees. Probably all going to be landscaped and everything now, because it is a country park and remains of the pit, Langwith Colliery. And then I've got to pick you up at the other side, where I think we actually momentarily meet up with the Midland Railway again, because the track bed has been lost just beyond here. So track bed just there, and then you've got to imagine this has all been landscaped now, and track bed continuing on that way just there, but it's not there. I think, yeah, you can't see it. There's not even a line of trees. Look where it went, because of course the colliery carried on 20 odd years after this line had closed, so it would have all just been spoil tipped and reworked, which eventually became this country park. So we've got to follow some of these paths around the pit we will eventually meet up with that line again. So just here, look, we do meet up with the railway line. Now remember, we're not walking the current Great Central Railway line at the moment. There's the line going off towards Mansfield and Nottingham, and the station down there, look. Further up, we'd be at Worksop. I'm going to carry on. We'll follow this down. Then we'll momentarily meet up with our Great Central line before following immediately after a spur that went off, joining the Great Central line that is the subject today, that joined onto this one. And once we momentarily meet up with our Great Central line that we're following today, we'll come straight off it again, following a bit of a spur, bit of an S shape, that then joins onto the Midland Railway, giving access for both lines to join onto each other. Okay, so just down here is the junction of our railway, Great Central Railway. So you see the trees there? That is the line. Track bed shooting off that way towards Clowne. And there's a little bit there, look, that we could have walked along, but I looked at maps and it fizzles into nothing. So this is the curve of the spur which joined both the Midland Railway and the Great Central line onto each other. Just poke you through here to give you a little nosy. Once you get past there, it does disappear. The track bed does, and we're not going to pick that up again now for a little while. But what we have got here, remains of ballast, look, and a concrete section which probably housed cables or wires. So let's follow on this spur. It's going to go around to the right and then snake off to the left, where it joined on to the active Midland Railway. More ballast there, look. Big pile of it, and a little bit more concrete pieces. It's actually getting really warm now. I'm going to push on, and I shall see you at this a bit later on. Okay, at the junction with the Midland Railway now. So that is up there, and that has come from there and over there. See over there, there's nothing, but the track bed did come out at the point of those trees and shoot over there, completely gone and landscaped. I've got to follow a couple of roads now, probably about a quarter of a mile, but it looks like I can walk the track bed once again. It's a nice old crossing keeper's cottage just in front, just for the level crossing for the active line. That looks nice. Right, so that cottage is there, level crossing just there. We've got to follow this very, very minor road. We'll cross where the Great Central line did cross. There must be another level crossing there. And then we've got to take a right turn shortly after that and meet up with the track bed again for us to follow a quarter of a mile just the other side of those trees. Quick look at the maps to see the diversion I've got to do. So yellow line, active Midland Railway, the blue one. Now from here, that is where the track bed shoots across the fields and heads up towards Creswell, but I've got to take this road around, the one that goes up here and across towards the top and back down to pick the track bed up yet again. And right about where that property is where the railway shot across. That junction was just over there before we followed the spur off to the Midland line. And this flat section of the road would have been right where the track bed came through and would have tore straight through where those fields are just over there. Again, looking back, so Langwith down there, track bed straight where those fir trees, pine trees are, straight across the road, and boom, that way towards Creswell. Then we come off that road, so that's where we've come from, look, and we're going to follow this footpath down here for probably about 10 minutes or so. So we've looped around all those fields and the road is pointing us in the direction of what I believe is the track bed. Look, we're back, and I'm hoping when we get there we can walk it again. So look, this is the other side of where we've just walked through. So that cottage with a crossing, the level crossing, probably about a quarter of a mile up there, and it's come through all those fields and landscape. Assuming there probably would have been a bridge here because the track bed goes up, look, and we are indeed, as mentioned before, going to get onto it. So momentarily off the trackbed again, that was there. This was all where the land of Creswell Colliery was, and there was a feeder line from the Midland Railway joining both lines again, just like there was at the previous Langwith Colliery. Might be worth coming back and having a look around this at some point, because I didn't realise you could get onto here, but clearly you can. So coming up to Creswell, just up here, as you know, we're passing the site of the colliery. The station opened in June 1897, renamed in September 1897 to Creswell and Welbeck. Now, services called at that station until September 1939, then it closed. May have carried on for goods, and there was a signal box which was later demolished in 1950. And we've just come from that embankment that was on where we joined the trackbed again. Swiftly we've gone into a cutting again, look, just like at the beginning back at Langwith where we began this walk. Look, here's some remains, look, of narrow gauge track work of Creswell Colliery. I didn't expect to find this. That's outstanding, isn't it? 1, 2, 3 tracks wide. I believe the main track bed was just around about here. I think it was on that side and headed off towards the main line there. That's alright, isn't it? What a quaint little surprise that is. And here's a little bit of an overview of where our Great Central line is on the left and the active Midland Railway is on the right, and those turquoise lines would be the internal industrial gauge railway system, just like the ones that we've just been walking around. And round about here, I think, are the ones that are still in existence. The old speed hump, look at that, a concrete speed hump, and the size of that curb. Trackbed would have shot off down there and joined onto the Midland line. And the access of the line from the colliery shot over there. You can see the security fence in there. That is the active line where it joined on. The old lamppost. You don't see concrete lampposts very often, do you know? And saying that, there's the remains of another one, look, an old pit lamppost. Right, let's leave that behind and we'll get back onto the Great Central Railway towards Clowne. Now I do fear at this point, as I get into Creswell, we are going to lose the track bed just here. As I previously suggested, we are dropping down. Just here, look. I think that's the level of the land where the track was up there. So whether there was a bridge here and this was some sort of track for traffic or just foot traffic or farmers, don't know. Let's go down here and we might be able to see a little bit better. So this is where Creswell and Welbeck station once was. The trackbed we followed is coming up past all these cottages down here, and the railway would have crossed Elmton Road with the station just a little way beyond. It had 2 platforms opening on the 1st of June 1897 as Creswell changed to Creswell for Welbeck in 1897, closed to passengers September 39, and the signal box was also abolished in April 1950. Right, yes, we do lose it. So this is Elmton Road to our left. These beautiful cottages, they're lovely, aren't they? Trackbed did, it shot across here and is roughly about there where Elmton Road is. As we keep these lovely cottages to my right, just over there is where our railway went, and the station was just the other side of Elmton Road, which is dead ahead. So I've left Creswell behind. It is another day because the rain became too heavy. It's actually a couple of months later, but it's windy today, so sorry about that. Now, the trackbed. Now, annoyingly, this is a footpath. Well, that's not the annoying part, it's the state of it. There is no surface, it's all overgrown, weeded up. You can't get down there, and I had that trouble at the Creswell end. So for a stretch that's probably no longer than a large Sainsbury's supermarket and its car park, I had to do a massive 20-minute walk around on the roads. Why this bit isn't surfaced, I don't know, but the rest of it is, or even a soily footpath. Hazelmere Road is just there, and it is fenced off there, but it is open again for footpath users to get onto the road. And we're going to see if we could get beyond. Is that evidence of sleepers down there? Doesn't look like one, but it's the right width. There's another one, look straight after. Could be, couldn't it? That's what I've got going forward. It used to be a viaduct down here, Markland Grips Viaduct. I think that's the name of the brook that runs underneath. And suddenly at this point the track bed just disappears. Look, it goes, it's really deep and then it goes up again just there, but that's not where the viaduct was. That was a bit further over, so this has all been dug out for some reason. I can't get any further, so I'm going to have to go back and walk around. Okay, so we're going to carry on walking round, leave Hazelmere Road behind. That's a public footpath down there, it's on OS maps. Now ironically, we're right next to the Creswell and the Clowne Greenway line that goes off towards Staveley. The viaducts are just over there and there's another bridge there. I've never walked that one. I have beyond Clowne, but I never made a video out of it, so I might do that later on today. So I found a footpath now that walks up towards where the viaduct was. OS Maps showed me that I had to go through this gate into someone's farm and then didn't know what on earth to do after that, so I just left. Luckily a kind gentleman, I asked him and he said a little bit further up and we follow this path. Whether the footpath used to come out there and it's just not been updated, but I've got to go up here and we'll see if we can find some viaduct remains. So this area, it used to have forts or maybe Roman forts knocking around, and the grips comes from a very small valley with like rock faces either side, so that's where this gets its name from. There's rock over there, like you can make it out, and there's more just over there where those trees are. Viaduct should be a little bit up here, and I think the path actually then does turn briefly onto the track bed. There's another really good example of that rock face, look, just going up and then the tree popping out at the top, quite dense. Viaduct should have been quite close to here or there or thereabouts. So there's the brook and you can hear it flowing, coming out of two concrete cast culverts for a short distance, and there's what appears to be a concrete section bridge. It's very, very wide, so the viaduct must have been just there. We'll see. I can get around there, I know I can, and then the track bed goes that way. Let's go see what we can find. So there's pieces of the old viaduct there, look, where it's been demolished. Coping stones and blocks. And there's that bit I was just on about, it's like a concrete section bridge, so the viaduct would have spanned all 6 arches across just there. Don't know what this path's actually doing, but it seems to veer off to the left to the top of where the viaduct would have begun its journey. So absolutely nothing to see but track bed back towards Creswell, back to that bit it was dug out for whatever reason. The viaduct would have shot across over there, down across the Markland grips. So carefully make my way back down and we'll go and look at that other concrete structure. It certainly looks 1950s, 60s build, doesn't it? A later extension to Markland's grip viaduct, but then they never knocked this down, obviously. Probably a lot harder to get rid of something built like this than the stone viaducts. What a shame that that viaduct's gone. But I'll take us through the other side very, very quickly. Probably not really anything to see. So Markland Grips Viaduct, it was 6 stone arches, opening on the 16th of November 1896 with the line closing on the 9th of January 1967. The viaduct was later reinforced by cross members and then by cross members plus beams. These measures were to counteract the effects of mining subsidence, but finally this concrete tunnel was built for wheeled and foot users, and the viaduct was buried under spoil to turn it into an embankment. I believe the train in this photograph has in fact bought the spoil and dirt to bury the viaduct. There must be numerous of these that approached the site while this operation was going on, and you've got half of the viaduct completely buried and that concrete tunnel showing as brand new, and these look like the workers sat on part of that spoil embankment whilst the work is being done. And that's it, look, out the other side. So track bed up there, we're going to see if I can get up there, and the viaduct over there, and that's where I climbed up just a couple of minutes ago. You can't see it, but it was over there. This footpath does carry on, but I'm not going that way. So up the side of the embankment and that concrete bridge we go. And this has taken us up to track bed level, isn't it? You can see where that concrete is, look, where we've just been inside. And there we go, quite glary. Markland's grip viaduct over there. As the sun, see how far we can get on the track bed now, pushing on towards our destination of Clowne. Some more coping stones from the original viaduct there, look. 1, 2, there's a third chunk just through there. So coming up to Holland Hill Road, just here, behind these bushes. Track bed would have of course gone straight on, don't know if I can. If not, I'm going to take a small right and then get on the Clowne Greenway, the former Midland Railway, and just finish off when I get to where the Clowne stations were. And just to add, there would have been a bridge going over here, continuing the railway route on. And look, oh, if I could get through there, we can in fact carry the route on by the looks of it. So trying to keep you out of the glare, so the bridge over Holland Hill Road was just there and back towards Markland Grips Viaduct. Look at our lovely track bed going forward. This is more like it, isn't it? This is going to take our last stretch into Clowne. And look, there's an information board. In case I've not shown you any photos of what Holland Hill Bridge looked like, it's there, look. That's good. That's very useful. I also believe there's some sidings here. Some of the railway banking here, I think it might have been that side just there, was used for storing wagons. It'd be coal wagons for the numerous collieries that were all spread out down that way, and also from the route we've just come from. The bridge, I think that got took down in 1969. And just what I was on about, look, here you can see there seems to be two different track beds. So one of these would have been used, I think it would be this one, because it kind of goes for a dead end just there. And the bridge was on that line, so I think this would be the banking for those sidings that I've just mentioned. As you can see where both tracks now came together. The one on the left would have had coal wagons, often stored for days upon end, waiting to go on to their journeys ahead. Waiting to be collected, heading towards Clowne and Staveley, or maybe ran around the locomotive back towards Nottinghamshire. So at this point the line we've been walking, coming from down there, runs parallel with what is now the Clowne Greenway between Creswell and Staveley. There used to be a signal box right about here which controlled the sidings in and out of the various collieries, some of them closing as early as the 1920s. So there were two stations here, but we'll look at this one in a lot more detail when I actually walk this line. So the Midland Railway, that opened in 1975. There used to be a great big iron footbridge just there. The station closed in 1954 and the last passenger service ran through in 1965. One last date for you. Freight did continue for some time after, but that eventually ceased in 2006. I'm going to look at that line very, very soon, but I'm going to come nice and early because it's a very, very busy walking route. Pretty sure that's the Clowne Brook flowing out of there and going under the other track bed just over there. So both lines within 100 metres or so of where I just walked across onto both of them, where the signal box was and the old iron lattice bridge. It's now separated by a huge V, like a dip in the middle. And now we're at the point of the approach to Clowne South Railway Station. Another look at Rail Map Online, you can see down here is where Markland Grips Viaduct was. Clowne Station is on the blue line, as we've been following all the way through, and that is just here. The yellow line also was the Midland line that closed in the 2000s, and there are a few remains of that station. We're going to look at it another time. And Clowne South consisted of 2 platforms, and it opened as Clowne without the E on the 8th of March 1897, but regular passenger services only lasted until the 10th of September 1939. Strangely, it was renamed to Clowne South Station in 1951, also adding the E, but the station closed completely in April 1964, and the line closed shortly after in January 1967. In the last few years there has been great work done to make this station look as good as it did back in the day. Restoring the building and the site around and that little tunnel entrance is absolutely stunning, and a credit to all involved. Above the station, the building was later a bank. There's a nice view, look at those cars out the front of this bank, and also a throwback to when the station was open. You can see just between those buildings the station front. Sadly, this is what it looked like after the tracks were lifted, but thankfully it does look better today. So I really do hope you enjoyed that walk along the former line between Langwith Junction and Clowne. There's more to come back for around here. We've got the Clowne Greenway from Shirebrook all the way down to Staveley, Seymour Junction. Never did it. I did a lot of the stuff around Seymour Junction, all those lines in late 2019 when I first started doing this channel. Never came back to do this one. So I'm going to come back and do it really early in the day. So please do hit that subscribe button. Follow me on more of these adventures. Just look at this. It's beautiful, isn't it? This is the sort of stuff, if you like the old railways and all the walks and stuff that's quite historical and beautiful. Subscribe below. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you to everybody for watching. I'll see you on here and in the future videos going forward. Thank you. Bye-bye. As always, the social medias are popping up below. I'd love you to follow me, especially on Facebook, on the Facebook page. That gets a lot of updates, photographs and important news of where I'm going and where I've been. Thank you very much.